Hello guys, my name is Amit Sani and I welcome you in this daily UPSC MCQ series. The people who are watching it for the first time, every evening these lessons are available and 7 days these lessons are coming. 6 days leaving Sunday aside, Hindu lesson is coming in the morning. So both you need to follow religiously. In the morning we are discussing and analyzing things and understanding these things in much detail, and in the evening we take these questions from all the sources: EPW, PIB, Live Mint, Indian Express, the Hindu newspaper. Everywhere we are taking references, and current affair based and some static portion, they are coming in these questions. So let's start the lesson. Pocket News app is trending on Google Play, and the description of all these videos you will get on the link given below the video. And regarding these courses, you can call on these numbers and visit the website here. Chat section is available. PDF you will get here, and send me a request. I would approve on this group, and you will also find the Telegram channel's link there. So on both these sources, the PDFs are available. You can follow me on Instagram too, and this is the link of Telegram channel. First question is regarding withholding tax. Withholding tax is not allowed in India. No, first of all, what is withholding tax? Suppose some foreign investor is investing in some company in its equities, then it will anticipate some good return from it. So when that person is paid the dividend, then some amount as tax this company person has to pay to the government. Or maybe suppose there is an employer and it hires many employees, then it gives the payment every month. Then from that payment, if that person cuts some amount, because that amount this employer has to give to government. Okay, so in both the places some taxes are given to government, and these are given by employer or the company. So this tax is cut from the income or the dividend. So this is called withholding tax. Okay, and investors and many other employees, they are complaining about it. Masala bonds we introduced some years back when rupee was slumping very fast, and it was a great trouble for rupee that it became very weak. It was close to 70s by the end of 2013. Now in this year again, the rupee has fallen more than 13% since the January month. So it's a kind of a great suspicion and less confidence on rupee as a currency for the foreign investors. So they are not investing in the masala bonds there. They buy these bonds. These are rupee dominated bonds, and the value is based on the rupee's depreciation or the valuation. So if the rupee is falling, then these investors will have some troubles, and already they are paying withholding tax on that. So they are planning to remove the withholding tax on the masala bonds. And the masala bonds were introduced by IFC, the financial arm of World Bank Group. So it was given a name as masala because masala is a famous name given to India iconically. So withholding tax, and it is allowed in India, and it is cut from the dividend or the income by the employer, and it is levied on foreign investors also, not only on Indian residents. So both the statements are wrong here. And withholding tax, suppose a TDS is cut from your income every month, so that can be a type of withholding tax only. So D, none is the answer, and in the PDF you will get this question. Next, in India, fully only capital account convertibility is allowed? No, only current account convertibility is allowed. There are two types of accounts: current account, capital account. Current account means normally the trades in export, import, these things are happening, these transactions are happening. So when in 1990s, when we had this financial crisis, then we went for fully convertibility on the current account, and that is allowed. Still it is allowed. But capital account convertibility fully, it was not executed, it was not allowed. Although SS Tarapur committee in 1997 and in 2006, in both these years, they recommended that there must be a full capital account convertibility, and this must be allowed, that all the transactions, they are convertible in dollar terms or some other foreign currency terms. So that must be allowed, so that more appreciation can be there for the investors and all. But there are some constraints, because you can allow full capital account convertibility only when the fiscal deficit is under control and NPAs are not there, or they are at a minimal level in these banks, and the inflation is not that much high. and the condition of the market is very stable. All these conditions are troublesome with India, and they were good around 10 years back, but after that these things are very problematic, and NPAs are a major constraint today. So we cannot allow full capital account convertibility. Okay, so this is wrong and this is also wrong. Why? Because it was not done. It was recommended, but it was not done. So D, none is the answer again. Next, amalgamation and mergers. These are two separate things. Suppose A and B, two companies are there. A is a bigger company, B is a smaller company. A wants to take over B, and if it is a merger, then it will become a bigger A company. B will not be there because A has acquired all the assets of B. So it's a company, it's a bigger company now, and it is a merger. If it would have been an amalgamation creates a new entity. There will be a new entity called C. A plus B is equal to C, because it is an amalgamation. Both the assets are joined now, and they both are coming together, and they are forming a new entity called C. So it's an amalgamation. So amalgamation creates a new entity. So this is a wrong statement. Merger does not create a new entity. Merger means the bigger one will acquire the smaller one. Recently, the Bharatiya Mahila Bank and SBI Associated Banks, 5 banks, they were merged into SBI, not amalgamated. This is wrong. Amalgamation example is recently the Bank of Baroda and the Dena Bank and some other bank, they all decided to amalgamate themselves, and they will create a new entity that will be the third largest bank in India. So that's the case. So both the statements are wrong again. D, none is the answer. Okay, these were merged into SBI, not amalgamated. So that's the crucial difference here between these two things. This happens between banks or in between companies. Next, conditions for payment banks. Payment banks and small finance banks. These two were established under the differentiated banking norms, and differentiated banking licenses were given to these, and then they were established. Payment banks, mainly the payment accounts are there. They cannot extend any loans, they cannot extend any credit cards. They can issue ATMs, but they cannot issue credit cards. They cannot take time deposits, and they cannot extend loans to anybody. So all these statements are wrong, and the minimum capital amount is 100 crore rupees, not 500 crore rupees. So this is wrong, and only 1 lakh rupees maximum are allowed in a single account as a deposit. So this is also wrong. Not 10 lakh, it is only 1 lakh rupees. You must have the Paytm wallet there. The Jio has its own wallet. Vodafone M-Pesa is closed now, and Airtel and all they started their respective payment banks. But it is very difficult to run this business because many constraints are there, as these are given. Only 1 lakh rupees are allowed. They cannot extend any loans. They cannot take time deposits, and they cannot even accept the NRI deposits, and they cannot extend loans to even the priority sector. So all are wrong here. D, none is the answer. Other conditions are also there. They can go for some financial services like mutual funds, insurance products and all, but many constraints are there. Like, it is very difficult to earn in this business because loans they cannot extend. Okay, and not even the credit card they cannot issue credit cards. Next, small financial banks, the similar category as I told you. Specific banks, they were allowed, the licenses were given to private companies, and only hope is that small financial bank can be converted into full-fledged banks, but only after some years of operation. They must have a minimum capital of 100 crores, not 500 crores. This is wrong. They must have at least 25%, not 50%, only 25%, but 25% is also a huge thing. Branches, 25% branches in unbanked areas, mainly in the rural areas, those will be established. So that's why it's a difficult thing, because in rural areas, in priority areas, you cannot earn anything. These are given only for the supports to these small help groups and agricultural areas, farmers and all. So these are unbanked areas mainly, and just to enable the institutional credit, this will be a mandatory condition that 25% of the branches should be established there. Next, they can undertake financial services, mutual funds, insurance products and pension products. Both these payment banks and the SFBs, they can undertake, but only after the allowance given by RBI. RBI will allow, then they can go for these services. So this is also wrong. This is also wrong. First is also wrong. Fourth one is correct. they are established after acquiring a differentiated banking license. So that's correct. Only 4 is the answer here. Other constraints are also there, that they must give 75% loans to these priority sector areas, and they must invest in the government bonds and all, and many other new constraints are coming for these banks, and they're finding it very, very difficult to survive there. Okay, means they can go for the forex selling and all, and mutual funds, insurance, pension funds, they can be allowed with these, but they cannot extend large loans, that's for sure. Okay, and they cannot even form the subsidiaries like NBFCs and all under them, so that's the problem. Banks can do that, but SFBs, they cannot do that. Till the time they are not converted into full-fledged banks, they cannot do it. So only 4 is the answer, C is the answer here. Okay, next, geographical indication. Yesterday we discussed this issue. As I told you, 4 products from 3 states, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, and 2 from Mizoram. These are given geographical indication. Okay, the Panchamritam from Tamil Nadu, the Palani town, and the beetle leaves from Karnataka, the Tirur beetle leaves, and 2 important woven fabrics from Mizoram. The names are very difficult, so I cannot remember them. You please remember those things. GI tag were given. So GI tag is given by TRIPS, not by GATT. That is wrong. GATT, TRIPS, GATS, these are under WTO regime. Okay, so not GATT. It is the Generalized Agreement on Tariffs and Trade. So mainly it tackles the tariff issue. So that is the tariff. That is the TRIPS issue that extends the GI tags. This is wrong. Second, it is valid for only 10 years, not 50 years. So this is wrong. And this is correct. India has enacted a GI Act in 1999 for the protection of GI tags. So only 3 is the answer here. C is the answer. Okay, many conditions which are given here. You can go through the PDF. It is available on the Telegram channel of StudyIQ and on my Telegram channel and on my Facebook group also. Okay, next, total fertility rate data. From the age of 15 to 49 years, a female, how many children she gives birth to, those will be the total fertility rate. Suppose on an average in an area, 3 kids are born by a mother, then the TFR would be 3. Like the UP has 3.0 TFR rate, Bihar has 3.2, and JNK has only 1.6. So this is wrong. JNK has a very good rate. Actually, it must be 2.1 if you want to control the situation of population, and below that means lesser population will be there in the future. 2.1 means the stable population will be there, because it's the replacement rate. 2 kids average are born, then 2 people, 1 father, 1 mother, and 2 kids. When the father mother will die, then only 2 will be left, and their kids will come. So it's a replacement rate. In China, it is below the replacement rate now. That's why the population is falling now. The numbers are falling. But in India, these are rising. But after 2026, this will be a stable numbers, because the TFR is dropping. And it is now 2.2 according to the latest SRS data. That is the 2017 data. Means 2.2 is the new number, not 2.5. So this is also wrong. First is also wrong. Why? Because the TFR data is taken from the sample registration system, SRS data, and that is done by Census of India's office and the Registrar General of India, RGI, Registrar General of India. That comes under Ministry of Home, not Ministry of Health. So this is wrong. Okay, on the Ministry of Home's website, you can go through that. Registrar General of India is given there. All the data, all the methodology, and the SRS categories are given there. So it's a very huge information, very huge system of sample registration system. And the same goes for the Census of India, Ministry of Home. Remember that. All 3 are wrong. D none is the answer here. Okay, the data is given here, and the fertility rates are coming down. National average is 2.2 now according to 17 data, and these are the states below the national average, and these are the states above the national average. Okay, Kashmir at 1.6 only. Many misconceptions are going on regarding the population. They are saying that a population boom is going on in some minority groups and all, but average condition is dropping by the states data. Now, Nepal has proposed to tighten regulations after a deadly season. We have seen many people who died due to some avalanches and all. So new restrictions are coming. Only the experienced mountaineers will be allowed. They need to show their certificates and all that they are trained mountaineers. So first is correct, second is wrong, because 6,500 meter must be the scaled peak in the past by the mountaineer. Then only that person would be allowed to go to Mount Everest. So this is wrong. And they have actually introduced the fee. Fee is already there, but officially it is announced that $35,000 should be there for the Mount Everest and $20,000 for other mountains. So this is also wrong. Only one is the answer. C is the answer here. Other details are given here. You can see in the PDF here. Okay, next. No first use policy is also under discussion, and Rajnath Singh ji, the Minister of Defense, he said that we may change this and it will have major implications, because India was trusted by big countries, and we said that we cannot sign NPT, but these must be allowed for us, and we did 2 experiments, and after Pokhran 2 in 1998 we announced this issue, and this is not 1974 the first experiment date. The Smiling Buddha was that first nuclear bomb that we tested, and in 1998 it was Operation Shakti, and after that we announced the no first use policy, and officially we established the Nuclear Command Authority, which tackles the operation of nuclear bombs and all. That was established in 2003 after the Cabinet Committee on Security decided about that. So if they ask you when we announced that, then that it was the year of 1999, and officially after the Nuclear Command Authority's announcement, that it was 2004 regarding no first use policy. China announced it in 1964 only. So China is the first country, and other countries vaguely they have said that we will use it only for defense, like Russia, UK, France and all. So China openly has declared it, and it has maintained it till now that it has a no first use policy. So this is wrong. And India, it is correct, India would not use nuclear weapons against any non-nuclear state. That is given in the doctrine, and it is based, our doctrine is based on the minimal credible deterrence phenomena. So only 2 is the answer here. D is the answer. This is given here in the detail, and please go through the PDF. It's a very important, crucial data. So this is all for today, and we will meet again tomorrow. Thanks a lot. Keep watching. It was Amit Sani.